Hey, assistant coach, how are you guys doing? It's me, CaniSports, and welcome back to the Notts County Career Mode, boys. I'm sorry for it not being posted for quite some time, but I had a few things that I had to deal with, so I'm really happy to bring it back right now because I have missed Bruno Fernandes, Van Leuven. I have missed playing with Haaland, and it is time now to go for it all. This season, we want to win the title. This season, we want to make it far in the Champions League. And as you can see, this is our team at the moment on pre-contract. Marcus Rashford has joined us. That is the biggest marquee signing that we have made for this season. And then also on top of it, Oyarzabal has come in, the 87 rated left winger who we are currently using as our right mid. Retsos and Upamecano and Bashandi complete our defense. You can definitely tell that we are quite top heavy in this team. Our attack and our midfield are really good, but our defense is not up to the standards of our attack yet. So hopefully in this episode, boys, we will be bringing in some solid players into our team, and then players like Richardson, who we have brought in through the youth academy, are growing along very nicely, by the way. 79 rated with 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, is definitely someone that we want to use a lot more in the future. But boys, if you are happy about the Notts County Career Mode, if you want this series to be uploaded more frequently, hit that like button. Let's get this video to over 2,500 likes. I definitely truly believe in it, because we are now at a moment where we can go for the title with Notts County. We can do it, boys. We have the players. So hopefully you guys will bring the hype, and if you do, I will bring you more episodes. Now, we are obviously waiting for our Champions League group stage team. They still have to play the qualifying rounds, so we'll see what happens right there. And last episode, at least 95% of my comments were, that centre-back that you have found is not Ronaldo. It has to be a striker, and this is the one. Moraes, he is the one. He is the one with potential to be special. I have found Ronaldo his regen, and it is in Austria. What the hell is his regen doing in Austria? That was my question. I genuinely didn't understand how the hell Ronaldo ended up in Austria. Or is there a way for regens to pop up in like random leagues? Please let me know, because as far as I can remember, regens only happen in the league where the player has stopped playing. That's what I thought how it was, but apparently Ronaldo is in Austria, and maybe, you know what, towards the end of his career, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna join Austria, and I'm gonna join a team over there, and I'm gonna have some fun and destroy players way below my level. So maybe that was what he wanted to do. And Moraes is soon joining us, and he does kind of look like Ronaldo. He has that chiseled jaw, as you can see, so I guess this could be Ronaldo's regen, and he obviously has potential to be special. And his stats, you will see them in a little bit. You'll be happy when you see those stats. Now let's think about this. If we bring this guy into our team, how will we implement him into our squads? He has to be high rated. He can't be low rated. If he's like below the 70 rating, there's no way this kid will ever get to play for our team, because I don't think he'll have enough time to develop to come into the starting lineup anytime soon. Because obviously we have Haaland, we also have our big boy Rashford, who has joined into the club. So we're going to see what happens with Moraes right here. We're currently negotiating his contract, and so many people, man, this is something that I want to point out. If you do a completely regular video with like not saying anything wrong or not doing anything wrong, I'll have like, let's say 300 comments on a Notts County episode. If I do that mistake where I say, oh, this must be Ronaldo's regen, and it isn't, oh my god, I'll get 1,000 comments, and 800 of them are just people saying, oh, you didn't get the right one. Guys, thanks for the response, but don't you guys look into the comments yourself before you comment? Because there was at least 5 to 6 comments that had over 100 likes, which said that wasn't the real Ronaldo regen. And as you can see, Moraes, my friends, is 73 rated, so he definitely will get a chance to play for us. Only 2-star skill moves though. I I was really upset about that one. I genuinely didn't expect only 2-star skill moves on this man, but hey, I guess that's the way it goes this time around. We're gonna focus on him, and he's also left-footed, which was a bit weird, but obviously after getting him, I was very happy. We now have Cristiano Ronaldo, his regen, and then I was looking for the big man, the GOAT, Messi, and for whatever reason, he has retired as well. So Messi, let me find your regen, and this one actually was in La Liga. And it is the weirdest name I've seen for an Argentinian. Brian Spurle, centre forward, has potential to be special. 20 years old already, so he probably, Messi probably retired 1 or 2 seasons ago without me realizing. But here he is, boys. This is Messi, his regen. Again, this one sadly doesn't look anything like him. The Ronaldo one at least had that jaw, but this man right here already has a receding hairline, and yeah, looks nothing like Messi basically. But we're gonna try and sign him because he has the potential to be special. And how amazing would it be to have Ronaldo and Messi, his regen, in our team? I would love that. And then I saw Joe Gomez playing for Manchester United. Do you know how upset I was when I saw that as a Liverpool fan? Joe Gomez at United, and I was like, nope, this is not happening. I gotta rescue Joe Gomez. So we are going after him in a transfer. As I said, our defense just isn't good enough, and I need big signings for the defense. And we have 170 million going into the season, which is a huge amount of money. So I definitely wanted to bring in Joe Gomez into the squad. And in this case, the amount that I would have to spend was obviously quite high. He was valued at 42 million with an 87 rating. Obviously, he's 27 years old already. That is probably his peak. He is at his best at the moment, which is great. But I guess in like 2 or 3 seasons, we'll have to see if we can offload him and bring in some other talents into that centre-back position, because then he might start dropping down in his rating. Now, we are offering 62.5. and that offer is accepted. Yes, it is highly above his value, but they just wouldn't go down in their price. So Joe Gomez right here. We are negotiating the contract. Let's rescue the Liverpool player from being a Manchester United player in this one. And a lot of people were also commenting I should be buying some English talents. I respect you guys. Yes, this is one of those players that we are bringing in. Joe Gomez, English obviously, and he will fit right into Notts County. Hopefully, he'll do well for our team as our centre-back. Hopefully, it will help us to concede a lot less goals, because we have been struggling a little bit in the defense, and I think with these players coming in, we can make the difference in the defense. And an 87 rating is absolutely amazing. He comes in, and take a look at the stats: 87 sprint speed, 80 acceleration, 86 strength, 88 interceptions. Really, really good player. I was very much looking forward to see how well he could play for our team. Marking is on 90, stand tackle 87, slide tackle 85. Joe Gomez at his best joining our team. Still not as high rated as he is in Ultimate Team with his 88 rated Future Stars card, which I'm currently using in my Road to Glory, and he's an absolute monster in that position, by the way, as the 88 rated one. But now I was looking at my right back position. Ruk has been good enough for us. The Swissman has been really good for our right back position, but I definitely wanted to improve my defense, because in simulations, the higher the rating, the better it is for our team. And obviously, most of the games throughout these seasons with Notts County are being simulated. So we're going in and we're trying to bring in one of the best right backs in the game in terms of potential. Calabria, obviously an AC Milan player. By the way, I'm really excited about how things are going at AC Milan at the moment. AC Milan is my favorite team in Italy, and I've always loved them since the past, where Maldini, Nesta, Seedorf, Shevchenko, Kaká, since those days, they have been a team that I definitely sympathize with. Before I even became a Liverpool fan, I was watching a lot of football from all around the world and wasn't really focused that much on the Premier League. So I was always interested in seeing how well AC Milan was playing, especially because of Maldini, because he was just an absolute beast, man. I was always amazed by what he was doing. And of course, Cafu as well as the right back. They just had such an incredible team back in the day. I still can't believe Liverpool beat them in 2005, but it was an amazing team, and it is getting better and better, which is nice to see from AC Milan. I think they can go places soon with Piatek in the attack. Apparently he pronounced his name Piontek, so I guess I will say Piontek from now on, which will annoy a lot of people who don't know how to pronounce his name. They will be like, who the hell is he talking about? But yeah, AC Milan is doing well, but here we go. Calabria is the player that we are trying to sign, and we are already on the contract negotiations. As you guys could see, we have to spend a lot of money on him as well. A huge sum once again will be paid for Calabria, and I thought to myself, could I have done better with my deals? Could I have brought in better players that potentially would have been sick talents that were just generated by the game for a lot less? Yes, I could have, but what am I looking for right now? I'm looking for instant success, and I'm needing players that are already established and 6 seasons into the game. Calabria is the one for us. He is the player that I wanted to bring into the team, and it has worked out. Calabria, let's take a look at him in the starting lineup. He's going to be playing alongside Upamecano, Gomez in that centre-back position. Calabria coming in that right-back spot, currently out on international duty, but 88 acceleration, 86 agility, 86 stamina, 65 strength though, which is a bit low. I feel like all of his physical stats have improved, only his strength hasn't really. That might have been a glitch right there, but 89 slide tackle, 94 stand tackle, 94 marking, I believe. Absolutely amazing right back, 5'9" tall. Probably that is why he doesn't have that much strength. I always thought that Calabria was like 6 foot tall from like FIFA, but apparently he's 5'9", so I was quite surprised seeing that. We got a big offer for Romagna, talking about teams in Italy. Romagna obviously playing in Italy. That player actually was supposed to have some of the best potential in our team, but he has never really gotten there. He's 27 years old, and I feel like his potential has been broken in our career mode, so I went ahead and I accepted the offer right here. He was only 81 rated at this point, so I was like, well, let's just let him go. 25 million would be a decent sum. I'm actually pretty sure, yes, there you can see it. Romagna, the transfer talks have sadly broken down in his case, but talking about transfer, 55 million release clause have been paid for Douglas Luiz. The man we brought in for incredibly cheap into our team, he is now potentially going out for a massive fee, and that right after he finally got his 2D picture into the game. He didn't have a face, if you guys remember, so now he does have his face in the game, and straight away they want him. And I wanted to check, is it worth to let him go? Because I could have obviously extended his contract. 26 years old, 85 rated, 35 million value. They're paying 55. That's a good amount of money in my opinion. So I thought to myself, I'm going to let go of Douglas Luiz because I had a plan. I wanted to bring in a player that lots of you guys were suggesting multiple times throughout this career mode. And I also wanted to bring in a player that a lot of you guys were like, oh, bring in more English players. So this one is another Englishman that I'm actually going after. So let's jump into the transfer hub and let's take a look at Phil Foden. 86 rated, 24 years old, worth 48.5 million. I was hoping that with the money that I had in my club, I could bring in Phil Foden into the team. Now, 48.5, obviously a massive value on him, which would mean that we would have to offer at least 50 million in order to get into the negotiations. And it starts off with us offering 58, and I was really hopeful of this one. That was 10 million above his value, and yeah, Pep was not impressed. He is basically just saying, we want 72 million. And yeah, 72 million cannot happen. We just don't have enough budget. We only have around 68.8, but that is also with the wage budget put into the transfer budget. So that couldn't happen. And I was trying my absolute best to somehow bring in Phil Foden into the club and bring in another Englishman into the starting lineup. But obviously I knew that would lead to our team not being that well in terms of defense in the midfield, because we would have Van Leuven, who is nothing but an attacking player, and then we would have Phil Foden, who obviously isn't the best defensive player in the team. He's more like an Iniesta type of player that gets the ball, carries it forward, does a few dribblings and passes the ball into the feet of the correct players. So Phil Foden right here, I knew that in terms of defense, our team would be struggling, but I wanted to go an all-out attacking technique in this career mode now. I wanted to go for the goals upon goals upon goals. So Phil Foden, sadly, as you can see, the negotiations keep going on, and it turns into a very, very tough situation. I was really hoping to get this transfer through, and in the end, they did accept the deal, but I knew that we would actually struggle to get the deal through in like after this moment, because I just didn't have enough money and I didn't know what to do. So I went into the contract negotiations, and I thought to myself, maybe we might have enough money. Maybe he will accept less wages to join Notts County. Maybe for his whole life he was a Notts County fan when we all didn't know, so he would play for the club for free, you know? I don't know. I was just hoping there was some sort of a glitch that would help us to sign Phil Foden. So I did go into the contract negotiations knowing that I just didn't have enough money after having to pay his transfer fee. I only had 74k, and 74k sadly just isn't anywhere close of his price. So I'm gonna tell you guys straight away, spoiler alert, it's not gonna work out. Phil Foden would have been an absolute monster to bring into the team, but sadly in his case he wanted 105, and I just can't offer 105. It's just impossible. He actually went down from his current wages, which is 155, to 105, which is actually a big step down. So maybe after all, Phil Foden was actually a Notts County fan, but sadly in our case it isn't going to be working out. We cannot bring him into the squad for those wages, so we had to look for different players. In the preseason tournament, by the way, we are doing quite well. We have made it through the group stages, as you can see, and then we played against Juventus, beat them in penalties, and then after winning against Real in the group stages 1-0, we lost against them in the final 3-0, which was an odd result, but hey, I'll take it. So we're moving on right here, and we are looking for a different midfielder. Since Phil Foden didn't work out, I wanted to go for someone who is the all-rounder, someone that can do it all, and on top of it, defend most importantly. And Zakaria was the man that I wanted in my team. I thought he was the perfect piece to our puzzle. So we are going into this deal and looking to buy Zakaria, who is worth 40 million, which was actually a decent amount for his rating. I believe his value was okay because obviously he's 27, he's at his peak as well. And currently I'm looking to bring in players at their peak. I'm not looking for players who I need to build up a couple of seasons. I want success right now. I want it to come immediately. So they want 71 million. Arsenal are asking for 30 million more than his value, and that can only mean that he has a long-term contract on him, and that obviously influences the amount that we do have to pay for him. And again, the price goes towards 62 million, which was the same amount that we paid for the first transfer in this episode, which actually the first one was 62.5. Zakaria is the one where we paid a little bit more. And we are going into the contract negotiations knowing that we can actually afford him. So I was really excited. I couldn't wait to bring this man into my team, because since the beginning, or even before FIFA came out, I thought to myself, I want to bring this guy into one of my career modes. And finally, I had the opportunity to bring him into Notts County and let him play for us and let him get some wins for the team and maybe even lead us to the title. That would be a beautiful story. So now that we are 18 minutes into the episode, now we get closer to the end of the transfer window, because we have already spent all of our money on all the transfers that we have brought in. 3 amazing transfers. Joe Gomez coming in at centre back. We have Calabria coming in at right back with his 87 rating, and then we also have Zakaria coming in with his 86 rating into the centre midfield position. Incredible stats: 92 aggression, 85 vision, 87 sprint speed, 87 stamina, 91 short passing, 91 long passing. Just the perfect midfielder. He can do it all, and that is why I brought him into the team. I was really excited to see how he can play for us. 3-star, which is okay. He's right-footed, so I can cope with it. Most of the time I play better with right-footed players than I do with left-footed players. But right here, boys, we got the scout report for Messi's Regen, and look at this. Messi's Regen is at an 81. Ronaldo is at a 73. So I'm not saying he's better, but he's better, at least in this career mode. That is a player that I definitely want to bring into my team. This is going to be our next big transfer. I don't even care that I have Haaland, that I have Rashford in my team. They have to move away when it comes to Messi. And Brian Spurle, that is just the worst name. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. In my opinion, that is the worst name they could have picked for an Argentinian regen. But hey, I'll take it for now. So here is the first game of the season, and we do play against Manchester United. And obviously, I wanted to play this game. I wanted to get in there and see how our team can cope with one of the best teams in the Premier League. And Oyarzabal plays it into Haaland, and there he is. Bruno! I missed him, man. I definitely did. Him with his 99 finishing and his unbelievable stats in that left midfield position. He comes in, he runs inside, he bangs it in on his left foot, which is a 4-star weak foot. And every time I take a shot with him, I'm like, this is going in. It doesn't matter what kind of position I'm in, what kind of angle I'm in. And this time he starts off the attack. Rashford moves in. He's about to score against his former team. Nope, De Gea saves it, but it drops into the feet of Pogba. And Pogba just carries it into his own net. It couldn't have been more comical. A former Manchester United player joins Notts County and makes a Manchester United player like Pogba, who is currently on fire in real life, score an own goal. I was really happy to see that. So 2-0 up against Manchester United right here. And as you guys remember, last episode I said Oyarzabal wouldn't play in our team. I said this guy is not good enough. I said he wasn't fast enough. I said he didn't have the agility. And still, he comes in clutch. Down that right hand side he plays for us right now. And he's right outside the box and bangs it in on his outside of the foot shot from like 30 yards out. And at that point, the game was over. It was 3-0 against Manchester United. What a beginning into the Premier League season this was. Mourinho obviously not happy. Probably will get sacked in here as well. But Rashford is the man that took us to the lead right there. By the way, Rashford, amazing player. Honestly, really, really good player. Very talented. Back in the day, there was a debate going on. Is Rashford more talented or is Iheanacho more talented? People were actually debating about this. And I always said, oh, Rashford is, in my opinion, better, despite not being the better player at that time. Statistically, I believe Iheanacho was doing much better than Rashford back in the day. And I just said, in my opinion, he is going to be the one that comes out on top after all. And look at where both are right now. Manchester United player Rashford in the starting lineup for one of the biggest clubs in the world. And then Iheanacho on the bench for Leicester City. So I guess I made the right decision right there. Actually, no, Iheanacho is at Leicester City, yes. But we move on. We get an offer for Kouame right here, boys. And after the game against Manchester United, you can obviously see a couple of our results in the league. Hopefully you guys paid attention to that and we're not only listening to my voice. But we get a massive offer right here for Kouame. 50.9 million. That was unbelievable. I thought I really didn't enjoy this guy. Like, genuinely, I disliked him a lot when I used him. He never really felt like a player that could make the difference. So I said, you know what, dude? We're going ahead and selling him. We want that money and it is coming in right now. Big money for Kouame. Plus 50 million. Unbelievable. I was really happy to see that work out. And now, finally, we have our Champions League group stages set up. Notts County for the first time in the Champions League, and we are up against Inter, CSKA Moscow and KRC Genk. Let's just say Genk. And my man, I was excited. I genuinely was excited. I couldn't wait. We won against Newcastle 2-0. We go into September right now. Crystal Palace was a 1-0 win as well. Champions League debut against Genk, we lost 1-0. And then we lost against Spurs as well. So the bad form continues into the Derby County match and into the Huddersfield match. I couldn't believe my eyes. We just lost like 5 games in a row. I didn't understand how that was working out because my team obviously got so much better in terms of transfers, in terms of players in the starting lineup. The defense got upgraded massively and still we lost all of those games. So I went into this one against Inter in the Champions League thinking I gotta get something done, and Bruno Fernandes was destroying Inter just by himself. People just couldn't touch him, and we play it into the new transfer. Oyarzabal on his left foot bangs it into the bottom right corner. Great finish and great response to the bad results that we have been getting. 1-0 after 5 minutes into the game, and Bruno Fernandes wanted more. He is going for them skills. He is going after this defense, and then you just shoot. You just shoot. Bruno Fernandes, you press B, you press circle on PlayStation, he scores. That's what he does. It is currently the 9th minute of the game, and we are 2-0 up against Inter in the Champions League. You could see if this team had the right person controlling them, they can beat anyone. But sadly, the AI is not capable of beating anyone. Paulo Slump right there with a huge save after Inter actually hit the post. So very happy about that one. The clean sheet is still alive. In the 25th minute though, a big mistake. Oyarzabal into Haaland. And Haaland was like, hey, Bruno, what you can do, I can do as well. He just smashes it into the top bins. And then he is just showing himself to the fans, and obviously the fans know him, they love him. Haaland has been a big part of this career mode so far, but I gotta say, Bruno Fernandes is the most fun one. Take a look at this. Do you remember? Do you remember the goal we scored with Bruno Fernandes? Do you actually remember? That was so close to being a replica of that one goal that we scored with Bruno, which is the best goal I've scored in any FIFA career mode, and I was about to replicate it right there with Bruno. Now that he's an 88 rated player, he can pull off that stuff very easily, but Rashford pushes forward, and then Bruno Fernandes on his left foot yet again. 4-star weak foot, doesn't matter, he will smash it in every time. And at this point I was like, okay, I actually have to prove that this is not me cheating or anything. I have to show people that Bruno is just this good, because that shot on his weak foot just doesn't make sense. It's just too powerful. So I went into the settings straight away to show you guys the sliders. Nothing on mine, and the CPU has been boosted. They are better than they should be on Ultimate. So I was playing against tough opponents, and on top of it, Bruno Fernandes just was legit. He is just legit. The shots he takes are just unbelievable. They're just ridiculous, man. I'm so happy that we have Bruno Fernandes as the main player in this career mode, and he's showing once again that he is the star man in this team. He's the one carrying us forward. Our number 7, Fernandes, with the goals, and we win 3-0 against Inter, which I was obviously very, very delighted about. And then after that, we start winning games. We won against Nottingham Forest, 3-0 right there. We won against Southampton, 1-0 victory. Then though, the form started to dip again. A 0-0 draw in the Champions League and a loss against Chelsea, a loss against Derby, but then finally it picks back up again in the Champions League where it counts. A 4-0 victory against Moscow. That was big for our team. So now we were up against Liverpool, and obviously we had a couple of big teams ahead of us. We have the Inter game in the Champions League, which was the most important one in the coming days. But our Champions League stage standing at the moment was quite good after getting all of those victories. So Manchester City was the team that I was personally eyeing up. Currently Notts County in the 7th position after 11 games. We have 17 points. That is not good enough. If we want to win the title, we got to be up there with Chelsea. I'm going for the title this season. I'm not saying that we are going for top 4 this season. The target is the title. So sadly, in this case, my friends, we are not there yet. We need to improve a lot more. We have to win this next game. If we do win this next game, we're only 5 points away from that first position. So we go into the game against Liverpool, we sim all of those games that we have just gone through, and it is a massive 4-0 victory against Liverpool at home. The team has done really well there, and then 3-1 victory against Bournemouth, and then in the Champions League where it counts, we stepped up again against Genk. The team is finally performing in simulations, and now it was the time for me to take over after another win against Leicester. We start off into the month with a win and in December the second game is against Manchester City, and that is how fast a league table can change. We are now in that second spot with 1 game in hand, and we have to play it to win it and go up to 29 points and sit right behind Chelsea, only a 3-point gap. That is the dream. We go up against Manchester City, who have been a team that I've struggled against a lot of times throughout the years. By the way, my dog just farted. It smells awful in here. Let me take 5 seconds to breathe into my shirt. And while I'm in my shirt, I can still commentate. Hey, good stuff. Marcus Rashford actually doesn't have the 5-star skill upgrade in career mode. I don't understand how they can update players in Ultimate Team just like that, and they can't do it in career mode. I mean, it's just such a shame. But we move on, boys. We still go for it. Can I breathe again outside my shirt? Yes, there is still fresh air. Beautiful. We have a massive chance with Haaland in the early minutes of the first half. We hit the post, and then we sadly don't score. So things weren't going too well, and I decided, you know what, we're going to take Oyarzabal off, and we're going to bring in Moraes, who is now 76 rated. He has already grown by +3 this season. He has the pace already. The only thing we need to improve with Moraes is his dribbling and his shooting, so we could focus on a lot of really important training sessions with him to improve him as fast as possible. That is why he's already on +3 since joining us. But sadly, this game against Manchester City, the team just didn't step up. The big players like Bruno Fernandes were nowhere to be seen. Van Leuven, what has happened to you, mate? You were the player that was carrying us in the last 2 seasons. Now you're higher rated than ever before, and you're not doing anything. And I was really disappointed about that. And the month of December will be ending right now. We have lost against Inter, and that was really scary because there was still a chance for the 3rd place team in the Champions League group stages to take over. A draw against West Ham, a loss against Everton, and a draw against Arsenal going into January. Too many bad results for Notts County, and that takes us out of the top 4, sorry. And that was devastating. Instead of going very close to Chelsea and giving them the pressure, now we are way behind them. And I kind of have the feeling the reason why this is happening is because the AI is playing a starting lineup that I don't want to play in the calendar simulations, because the AI plays players in the right position. So if you are playing in a 4-4-2, it will play a left midfielder in your starting lineup instead of having a left winger who might be higher rated. So I've been having that issue, and you can clearly tell that that issue is very prominent at the moment because we are struggling to get good results in simulations, and the simulations are massively important for this career mode. And you can see right here, we do have the transfer budget of 53 million. Lionel Messi, I am going for your regen. As soon as the next episode starts, boys, rest assured we are going for Messi. And Haaland right now is on an 87 rating. I couldn't believe my eyes. This guy has grown so much. He's on an 87. Van Leuven is on a 90, and he didn't do anything in this episode. I was so disappointed from him in this one, but I'm pretty sure he will be stepping back up again as soon as possible. The reason why I have a different formation right here was I was hoping that the 4-1-2-1-2 wide formation would actually help us to win games, but I saw one thing in my team, and that was that my goalkeeping position was definitely something that we can upgrade. And I put a couple of players onto the transfer hub. And here's the deal. Do I go for Messi's regen? Do I bring him into the club already? Or do I try and save up for someone like a Gianluigi Donnarumma to improve our defense even more and take things to the next level and help us even more in the simulation games to get us into a position where I can actually jump into a Premier League game and fight for a victory where it actually counts in order to win the Premier League title. Because right now, the results that we are getting in the menus are just not good enough. So I put a bunch of goalkeepers onto the transfer hub, thinking maybe I go for a goalkeeper, but maybe I also go for Messi's Regen. The issue with Messi's Regen is that he will keep growing and he will become much more expensive, so maybe this is the time to buy him. He's worth 34, we have around 52 million, maybe that will be enough to bring him into the club. But in the Champions League, boys, we have made it through into the next round. Real Madrid is the team that we are playing against in the Champions League. I am excited about the next episode because that could potentially mean that Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's Regens are going to be in one team. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Hopefully next episode we will be holding that Premier League title and also the Champions League title in our hands. Love you guys. Have a great day. Take care. Peace.